Good evening, parents. If you're new to my channel, my name is Cherrick Gordon, and I've been a pediatric physical therapist for well over 25 years. I've helped thousands of parents just like you, and I show them how to use simple touch and movement to help your baby catch up and move ahead. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about a specific group of babies that may have something called low muscle tone or hypotonia. Now, hypotonia is just a technical term which means that your baby's muscles are a little bit softer and not as sturdy as they should be. And I want you to use this analogy. Here I have a rubber band. Now you can see it, right? Let me lean in and make sure you can see it. And pretend this rubber band is a muscle. Now I'm not pulling it, I'm not extending it in any way, I'm just holding it, but it's taut. It's ready to act. Now, imagine if I were to bring my hands closer together and there's a bit of a belly in the rubber band. Now, whenever I need to use this rubber band, it's got to take up the slack first, take up that tension before any kind of forceful movement can happen. And that's what's going on with your little one with the low muscle tone. If you want a more in-depth explanation into some of the signs and symptoms of low muscle tone or hypotonia, go back and look at part 1 and part 2 of this series. In part 1, I did a deep dive into exactly what hypotonia is. In part 2, I did a deep dive into some really great exercises and activities that you could use to help your baby if your baby has low muscle tone. This is part 3, where I wanted to introduce an assistive device called a walking harness. Now, there are a lot of walking harnesses on the market, and some of them are a little bit more than a leash, where they go around baby's neck, they go around baby's trunk, and they really don't do a lot in terms of helping your baby to walk. They're actually there to bring a baby or keep a baby close to their parents and keep a baby out of danger. Those are for babies who are not struggling with some of the challenges that babies with low muscle tone are struggling with. So let's start off by talking about how to choose the right harness, and then I'm going to show you a couple of activities, some live activities that I've done with a child who has low muscle tone. So I've chosen this harness, and I'm going to show you some of the features I want you to pay attention to. 1, you want to look for a lot of wide padding. It's got some nice wide padding. This particular one will go in between baby's legs. You can see it's got some padding for where the arms will go, and it has multiple bits of support. It's not just one strap in the back. Some of them have one strap in the back where you just kind of, baby is leaning forward and the parent is just kind of holding baby back. That's not what this is. This type of harness that has this piece up here, this is about 12 inches wide, probably a little bit more. And this will allow you to hold with both hands, kind of like this, and be able to walk around with your kid and actually allow your baby to learn to walk in a way that's safe and prevent a lot of falls. I've found that working with kids who have low muscle tone, even after they start walking, they tend to be clumsy, they lose their balance often, they really don't walk in a straight line. It's more like meandering this way and then coming back in the other direction. And especially if they're walking on a sidewalk, they lose their balance, they fall. And here's the danger. A baby with low muscle tone, when a baby with low muscle tone falls, their reaction time is too slow. The time it takes, we talked about the tension in the rubber band, the reaction time is not fast enough for baby to do this, put their hand out and stop the fall or protect the face. And so a lot of times babies with low muscle tone, when they start walking, even after they've conquered the fear of stepping out on their own and they start walking, they tend to lose their balance quite often, and when they fall, they get hurt. They hit their head, they hit their face, and the next thing you know, they've got a busted lip, they've got a lump on their head, and we can avoid that by using a device like this. And I'm going to show you how to use it in a way where you are there to catch your baby if they lose their balance and fall, but you're not assisting in the walking process. You're letting your baby walk and navigate the uneven ground and figure that out for themselves. And as you practice walking, they will get better and better until you get to a point where you feel like, you know what, I don't need this because we're not falling every 2 or 3 days. So this is the harness that I chose. I'm not going to give you any specific names. I'm just going to give you some general guidelines of what to look for. This one comes with a padding that goes around baby's back. I'm going to use baby Annie, and I'm going to show you how to put it on. So you can sit baby on your lap, facing away from you, like this. And you would just take the harness, put the hands in, one hand at a time. Put the hands in, and put baby to lay on across your lap, and then you can finish by doing the Velcro in the back. Baby Annie here is kind of on the little side, so this is going to be kind of loose on her, but you'll get the idea. You'll get the point. So this is the way the harness will be worn. You'll have baby with your hands coming out here. Baby will stand, and you will walk with your baby like this. This piece here would go in between baby's legs and attach in the back off to one side. Now, one of the things that I noticed when I first started using this is I was using it, but I didn't want to use the harness that went in between the legs. And what I found is it's got a little secret compartment in front where you can lift this flap up, and there's a zipper here that you can just unzip this part that goes in between the legs, and now you've got baby's harness to where you can walk. Here are a couple of things. If your baby is not yet walking, you want to use the harness where you're walking close to your baby and you're trying to keep the harness, this part, the bar, directly over baby's body. You don't want baby leaning forward on the harness and you kind of holding baby up. You want the harness to be directly above baby so that baby can get the idea of balancing herself, taking those steps, and go ahead and walking. Once baby is actually able to stand and walk on their own, I would encourage you to allow there to be some slack in the straps while baby is walking. This will let baby practice walking, and as long as your reaction time is quick, you're holding on to this moment baby loses their balance, you just tighten your grip and you have baby, and baby will not fall on the ground. So using this is pretty simple. A couple of quick don'ts that I made some notes on. It said don't pull the harness to lift your baby up completely. When you're ready to pick your baby up like this. Do that in the normal way. And you don't want to hold it too tightly. I already mentioned that. You want to allow your baby to be able to move and take their steps and wobble and weave and let those trunk reactions kick in so that baby can develop those muscles and develop the walking skills and be able to walk on their own and walk independently. And you don't want to use it as a tool. You want to use it while you're playing with baby and intermingle it with some quality floor time so the baby can continue to strengthen their trunk muscles, those balance reactions, and be able to get the most out of it. Okay? Now I'm going to show you some actual demonstration of me using this with a kid that I'm working with. So you can see there I have baby walking, and she's not leaning forward on the straps and putting any tension in the straps. I'm letting her walk and go where she needs to. Now you notice the way she moves, she is kind of wobbling side to side, but that's kind of the way babies with low muscle tone tend to move. Let me show you an example of her. I believe I have her walking out on the street, and again, you can see the way her gait is. I wanted her walking towards the camera so that you can see exactly what she looks like. And she was doing a pretty good job. I just made sure that I had some slack in the straps so that she was not leaning forward onto the into the harness. This is a video of me working with her inside her home. I made a little obstacle course for her that we practice stepping over for me to go ahead and challenge her dynamic balance in a bit more of an active way, putting a little bit of more stress on her body, on those postural muscles, so that she can get the idea of moving her trunk side to side and stimulating those balance reactions. If you do go out and get something like this, a pro tip would be make sure you stand on it before baby steps over it. A lot of times baby tends to trip over it and move it because they're not very stable. I'm now going to put the harness on her, and you can see that it doesn't take a whole lot of time to put on. And once you get the hang of putting it on, you should be able to do it in less than 5 seconds, I would say. Just slip the arms in. Once you adjust it, all the straps to your baby's unique size, then you'll be good to go when you're ready to head out and go do some walking practice. And you can see that the way I'm going to let her walk over the obstacle course, I'm going to hold the harness to where I have some slack in the harness and allow her to actually practice navigating over uneven ground, over walking over the stepping over the obstacle course, stepping over the little yellow harnesses that I have here. We usually go for a walk out in the street, and that's where she was trying to head. She knows we go for a walk outside. Now I have to convince her to actually do this and postpone the fun part that she likes to do. So in the beginning, if you're doing something like this, you'll give her a little bit more support. And as she gets the hang of it, as legs get stronger, as her balance gets better, and she's able to step over obstacles, you'll then be able to introduce some slack into the harness and allow her to do her thing. This is a fun activity to do. Kids love it, even though it seems like it's quite a bit of work for her. So this is me with her in her driveway. I wanted to show you guys a look at her walking on a sloping surface and what that would look like. And so here she goes walking down. As long as she is balancing herself, I let there be a little bit of slack in the straps of the harness and let her go ahead and maneuver herself. You can see that she really doesn't walk in a straight line. She kind of zones one way or the other in either direction. So that was a quick intro into that walking harness, and I hope that you find a device like that beneficial for your little one. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you've tried something like this, what kind of challenges you've had with them, and I might be able to make another video specifically for you about this and maybe show you some more activities using the harness. So that's it for today, my friends. I will talk to you soon. As always, like that video and like this live, or if you're watching on the replay, drop a like, drop a comment for me. And please don't forget to subscribe. As it turns out, over like 60% of the people that watch my content are not subscribed, so they're not seeing my content on a regular basis. To be honest with you, I don't know what you're doing. You need to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you, and I will see you in the next live. All right, take care, my friends. Be well.